The link?
Yeah, is it the same as last week?
Yeah, it's always the same link.
Okay, Zoom.
Okay. Oh, it should be on YouTube now. Hello, if you're watching on YouTube, the video will start shortly. I'm about to post the link in the YouTube chat box for you to join the Zoom room. So always we have the link right after. Oh, did something wrong. I always post the link right after the Zoom goes live, and then we start not long after. Okay, link is up. Chat. Hi, everybody. One more thing that I'm looking for. How do we, I don't know how I can change that, so I'm gonna just give feedback on that. Okay, here now. Thanks for joining, everybody. I'm Dante Starshine. This session happens for now every Thursday, and we will continue in this way, though I would like to propose to all viewers to perhaps offer some other times that might be good. Perhaps there's people watching in the background that would like to join but can't make it. I'm considering restructuring the time and date of this, so it'll be the same day every week and same time, but we might alternate weeks. As last week, a lot of people joined on the session that was a couple hours later, that allowed for people in Australia and the Pacific to hop on. So that will happen again. I'm not exactly sure when. So if you have other ideas as to when we can have this session, you're welcome to offer them. So I channel the Pleiadian Council. They're an interdimensional consciousness that are supporting our planet in ascension. They have access to a lot of information and can scan energy, both on a personal and collective level, to feedback all questions. And of course, there's some things that they can't answer as in great detail, and they will let you know if they can't answer. We take questions both from the Zoom room and from written questions in the Zoom chat or on the YouTube chat. It's best if you ask them aloud, with or without video, as it gives us more space or gives them more access to all of the information to kind of scan it and see how they can feedback on that. So your participation is encouraged. One thing is, if you are not speaking, make sure that your microphone and your video is off, because this is being streamed to YouTube, Last week we had a lot of people that stayed on video the whole time, and I got some feedback that there was some distractions of people doing interesting things on the video. So we'd prefer not to have that. So if you're not speaking, turn your video off, and that will allow us to kind of have the video stream really focused. Today, we're going to try something new, and we will, after the initial introductory transmission, invite only questions that are about those contents. So even if it takes a moment, think about something that might be related to that introductory message and bring questions of that nature. And then we will open it up to all questions. And this way we might get some deeper content. And also I would like to invite everyone, if there's anything that really calls to you during this transmission, to maybe note it. And if you can get the time on it exactly, well, that doesn't matter as much. But if there's something that really like sparks an aha moment to you, let me know and send it to me, as I would love to also post short 1-minute clips to YouTube that might draw in some new attention. And of course, the channel is always expanding. So if you have friends or acquaintances that you think might be interested and ready for this level of work, invite them and bring them in, as it's really lovely to expand this audience. And on that note, I offer personal sessions for you to go deeper with things that might not be able to be covered in the entire transmission that we do. And if you would like to join them, or book one at DanteStarshine.com is my website. And I'm also launching a channeling course that's starting about April 6th. It is a really powerful program that isn't just about learning to channel your guides, it's about tuning in your intuition so that you can live this life in live your life in a higher state of consciousness, in connection with your own higher self, and let that intuitive wisdom guide you. We also do different healing modalities and practices that can help you kind of dissect, both for yourself and others, in your own inner belief systems and aspects from perhaps past traumas or things that have happened, to really come into a more holistic way. And it's, of course, for anyone who wants to deepen their intuitive healing gifts or share them or just live life in a greater flow state. So I highly encourage it, and there is a bit more time to sign up, and check out DanteStarshine.com/course for the information. You can book a free consultation call with me if you would like to see if it's really a fit for you. And today only there is the last day actually of a $33 discount on private sessions. So if you are interested in it, hop on. Okay, what was the last thing that I wanted to say? I think I said all of the things about in this space. Just, yeah, make sure you are muted and have your video off if you're not speaking. And that's about everything. So I will see you guys in a little while, and hope you enjoy the transmission. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to mention. You can watch all of the replays to these videos on YouTube, and we have Josh, who's being such an amazing assistant in time-stamping the questions and answers. So if there's something that really calls to you in this session and you want to listen back to it, usually like about a week or so after, in the description of the video, you can click you can read the description of the question and click to hear again a replay of that particular thing. And I had a bit of a backlog in posting all of them, but this past week I posted everything from February till now. So all of the last week's transmissions are now with those timestamped annotations for you to kind of scroll through it and find the details that call to you. And thank you so much, Josh, for doing that. We really appreciate it, and really appreciate the energy you always bring here. Another thanks to Bastiani, who is usually our host and reading the questions that are typed in. Really beautiful energy you bring, and really lovely community that's forming or is formed here. So thanks a lot, everybody, for making this possible. It's a co-creation, and I appreciate all the energy that's brought here. And let's get started. Hello, hello. It is a pleasure and honor to establish contact with you in this way. We thank you for allowing this transmission to take place, as it is a co-creation, a blending of our frequency and your frequency as we reflect to each other different energies, allowing your world and our world to expand respectively and deepening into contact with each other, deepening into our knowing of all that is. We as the Pleiadian Council speak on behalf of the Galactic Alliance and your own guides as well, allowing for you to come deeper into an immersion into the frequency of these interdimensional extraterrestrial beings that have always been with your world and are now intending to come into open contact with you when you are ready and when you are prepared. In order for that to take place, you all must raise your personal frequencies, coming into greater states of passion, love, trust, and openness. And we come here to support you as individuals, because as each and every one of you changes and raises your frequency, you create a more potent and open energy field on your planet for everyone to reach that same frequency. Thank you for extending this gift to us, and thank you for extending the gifts that you share to everyone as you find and ignite your own passion. It creates waves of love that expand through your being, through the rest of your earth, and to this entire universe. So, our thanks is always with you, and let us begin with our opening message. Today, we speak of creating emotional harmony. And usually these transmissions are simply a refresher, a way that we share a different take on the core teachings. This is perhaps one of those messages. We remind you that your state of being creates cycles of repetition. The state of being you are presently in is, in a sense, being etched into your core being. It is being etched into your auric field. And as that happens, in future moments, you are more likely to return to this particular state of being. So this goes to say then, the more that you are in alignment with passion and following your joy, the more that you will naturally return on to that state. The more that you are not choosing to follow your passion and instead listening to voices of fear or uncertainty or dissatisfaction, the more that frequency will recur in your being. You are beings of rhythmic repetition. You cannot help but entrain to certain frequencies. And so this is why every single moment and every single decision you make is so utterly important. You create a field of resonance through which you can return on to that core frequency again. Now, emotions are, in a sense, something that you choose. Emotions are energy in motion. When you realize you have the choice to take action or not to take action, and you have the choice as to which action you take, you can guide yourself to take the choice to bring yourself into the best feeling action that you're presently able to conceive of. Even if it doesn't feel entirely great, it is still a step in the direction of positive momentum. As long as it feels better than all of the actions that you can conceive of, you will, in the next moment, find a better action to take, and thus your frequency will ascend. You choose which actions you take, And the actions you take bring you into certain states of being. This is very important for you to recognize. If you are taking actions that bring you to lower your emotional frequency, you have to look at why it might be useful according to your belief systems to do so. No one chooses anything they don't believe to be useful. So if you find yourself in negative emotional frequencies, you have to ask yourself, why do you believe it is useful to be in that frequency? Sometimes you believe it is useful simply because you have been in that frequency so much in the past, it seems comfortable, it seems easy, and you won't take the risk of putting yourself on a great wall and falling down. Sometimes you have experiences of raising your frequency so high, and then you encounter something that makes you crash. And that feeling of devastation is so bad that you fear raising your frequency again. But what you don't realize is if you find that devastating moment, that crash, that fall, that is a moment in which you are shedding negative beliefs and you are actually encountering negative beliefs that you weren't yet aware of before. So you have to celebrate these moments and recognize that there is no fall that you cannot recover from once you understand the mechanics behind emotional momentum. Now, you also might find that certain emotions are beneficial according to your belief systems because you believe that by being in a powerless state, you will get help or attention. Sometimes, as a child, you only received love and attention and validation when things were bad. Your caregivers or parents might have been so much in their own stress that they could not celebrate your goodness because they didn't have room for goodness in their understanding. So only when you express negative emotions did you ever get any attention. And this might be true of certain friends and people in your life at this point. When things are going good, you are not as important as when things are going bad. Many people still live according to this belief system. Until there is a crisis somewhere, you don't think of that place. Until somebody is in crisis, you don't think of that person. Many of you are trapped in this belief system that justifies negative energy because negative energy garners more attention. So you need to train yourself to direct your attention to things that are positive and train yourself to prefer attention from positive emotions and positive actions over the attention you get from negative emotions and negative actions. There might be other ways that emotions you experienced in childhood continue to recur because it is comfortable and because it gives you a sense of belonging to feel that way. And in a sense, there are so many collective agreements to keep yourselves in states of powerlessness. This message of powerlessness is reflected very often in your media, in your social media, in many of the things that you see outside, even in seeming spiritual communities. This idea of shadow work is often over glorified in a way that you think you're doing something right if you are continuously processing. But instead, you can continuously be in states of joy. Another potential reason that individuals might think that negative emotions serve a positive purpose is because they think that it helps them see things clearer. They think that it helps them understand more deeply. This is very common with emotions of paranoia or anxiety. You keep yourselves in the loop of these emotions because you feel that without these emotions, you will not pay attention to all of the negative details of things that might go wrong. But instead, when you train yourself to realize when you are in states of joy and flow, through that law of attraction, you attract things that flow and you attract things that are easy. And you avoid the negative pitfalls simply because you are in an open, flowing state of passion. You will understand that paranoia, anxiety, worry are absolutely useless. And you will be guided through your own intuition as to when potential mistakes might arise. So training yourself in this way, you will come to understand that there's no negative emotion that isn't upheld by a purpose. At the same time, we remind you of the understanding that you feel the emotions you are feeling in order to tap into a certain frequency. So anger often brings you to empower yourself. Sadness can bring you to rest, to breathe, and to come into states of renewal. Yet, when you recognize that all of these negative emotions have a positive counterbalance to them, you will be able to express them in the moment and return as quickly as you can into that positive counterbalancing emotion. So if you are angry, instead of dwelling in the emotion, find the quickest path to reclaim your power and establish clear boundaries. If you are sad, find the clearest path to love, connection, and finding your place within community of friends. If you are worried, find the quickest path to security, ease, and contentment. If you are fearful, do the same thing. So you can flip the switch more quickly than you think with emotions. And if you find yourself stuck in the negative loop, there's often a reason you prefer the negative to the positive. You must come to understand that all negative emotions have a positive flip side. But if you don't find yourself flipping over to the positive side quickly enough, there's a belief that is keeping you valuing those emotions and valuing those states. When you figure out why, you will create emotional harmony much, much quicker. We thank you for allowing us to share this message with you, and we hope that it supports you in finding balance, harmony, and joy, and continuously living through that state, because that is your birthright. Now, we will do our best to assist you with any questions, comments, sharings, and musings you have at this time, reminding you we would like to prioritize questions related to the opening transmission first before attending to more personal or unrelated questions.
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, welcome.
My question, I believe, is related. I would like to hear your take about emotional eating. I usually overeat myself, and I'm still not feeling satisfied.
Are you able to sit with those emotions?
Yes, but taking something into my mouth is usually easier and quicker.
It's not actually quicker because it continues to perpetuate the pattern. So you have to realize that every time you make that choice, you're keeping yourself stuck in the loop. You're increasing the probability of doing the same thing again. You're not actually making it quicker. You're simply pushing that emotion deeper into your body. And as you digest food, those emotions get absorbed into your body deeper. So it does not serve you.
Okay, great. That's good to know. And okay, thank you.
Yes, so simply when you are feeling the craving for food and you know it is meant to cover up emotion, sit with the emotion and ask yourself, what is the natural opposite to this emotion, and what actions out of all of the actions I can take align me most with that frequency, and take those actions.
Usually I'm not certain what that emotion really is. So I believe I just need to understand the emotion more, or something else.
Well, that's part of the trap of negative emotions, is they bring you to think you must understand them, but the understanding will happen naturally when you figure out what the opposite emotion is and then what actions align with that. So act upon your highest passion, always. If you are finding yourself in this negative emotion, but you choose to dwell in it, you again increase that emotion in your field. You attract more of that emotional experience in future now moments. So instead of figuring it out, take the right action. What action out of every other action brings you to feel greater passion?
My usual situation is like I don't feel okay. Something is, maybe I feel a little bit nervous or not pleasant, and what the first thing I can think of is just taking some food.
All right.
And as you said, after the meal, I don't feel better. It's simply this feeling is the same or similar.
Yes. So if you don't feel better, why do you keep doing it?
Because, as I said, it's just the first thing that came to my mind, and as you said, I need to sit with my emotion and neutralize it.
So the opposite of nervousness is calmness. What can you do to calm yourself down?
Having some meditation, or
Yes.
just have a walk.
Yes.
Okay.
Which of
idea.
those would be more exciting for you? It can be different according to the moment, of course.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. That's very
Thanks to you.
very good ideas. Thank you.
I have something arising from what you said.
Yes.
Can I join you on the camera?
Yes, if you'd like. You're more than welcome.
So as you know, I've just recently completed a transformational growth workshop.
Yes.
In that, there were moments where people were going very deeply, for example, the grief.
Yes.
I've personally had massive things, situations to grieve. When it came to that process, I realized that I couldn't find my grief. I was feeling only neutral and wanted to get back to my passion and excitement. So I actually left at that moment feeling I didn't feel that was there. And I did meet one of the senior members of the group to discuss this later, just to check. And I did notice the things you're saying, that the group were kind of glorifying getting very deeply into that thing. It seemed to go round and round in circles, and I couldn't get out of it.
Yes.
Okay, I suppose it's more of a comment than a question.
Well, many people do glorify grief, and they continue to grieve the same thing for prolonged periods of time. They believe it's useful, and that is why they stay in that experience. You can still be aware that something negative happened, but once you extract the lesson from it, and instead of focusing on the pain of the wound, you have gratitude for the lesson it brought, you don't actually need to grieve it anymore. Grieving has an end point. It is not continual. Yet some people prefer that state because, in this case, they find connection with others through that negative emotion. But when you understand that you experience a deeper and more profound connection with others through passion, then you don't actually need to grieve things for so long. The channel feels the same way. He noted people grieving someone who passed away 3 years ago the other day. And for the channel, the connection was deep with that individual, but the grief happened in the moment. It passed over some months. And the channel can feel love for this individual and feel the spirit of that person still here and now, but there is no longer any grief. No other people use that sadness to feel a sense of community across the friends related to that person, but it is not necessary.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to be a little bit more specific now that you mentioned the 3 years. I was more than 20 years before I could speak to anyone about things that happened to me. It was very deep. It was very painful. And today, I mean, this recently, I'm so attached to the joy of just feeling the connection with Source.
Yes.
And in that, there is something else comes to my mind as you were speaking, which is I'm at times feeling I am now so able and fluent to connect with my passion and joy. And there's so much energy, often new energy coming this morning, next time, so much that I want to reconnect with family members who are no longer in contact because they are very much in spirals. And you have previously advised me that, you know, why contact the people with the bad spiral? And I've said, well, it's my family. And I do feel that comes to my mind again, and I don't know. When you were speaking just now, it came to my mind again that is that my path? Is that my excitement, as you would say, to contact them, or should I just leave it?
If it's your excitement, if you can't get rid of the idea and your heart is moving you to do it, then follow your excitement. But recognize again, following your excitement is a trial and error process. And don't get attached to the results. You might find the same animosity and the same negativity directed to you. And if that happens, be prepared to simply step away. Then you will see that you've learned that these individuals are still not receptive. And you tried again, and you learned the lesson you needed to learn, so you can continue to choose actions that inspire joy for you. You can reach out to others who are in a negative energy, intending to share joy if they're able to receive some of that joy. But if they cannot tap into the joy, if they push the joy away, then you're wasting your time.
I hear what you're saying. As you were speaking, it was more a question of, am I as solid as I think, or
there's only one way to find out.
Okay. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
And our thanks to you as well. And recognize if you are feeling solid when you return to formlessness, there's the same pathway to return back into form and structure in the ways that serve you. And it is that balance of moving from form into an amorphous state and back into form that allows you to transmutate, and to become something new. So don't fear dissolving some form, because knowing the formula, you will find a new way to direct yourself back into the shape that you prefer.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks to you.
Hello, great council. How are you?
We are fantastic indeed.
Awesome. Awesome.
Could you increase your volume for us, please?
How does this work?
A
Is
little
this
bit
better?
It's sufficient, yes.
Okay. I'd like to ask a question in regards to when to keep one's energy. At times I find I just kind of negatively react to certain people or certain small little situation, but I understand that it's not necessarily coming from um, my higher source. It's not necessarily coming from a point of passion. I just find it, uh, it's kind of like getting annoyed at a certain person, but then getting annoyed at myself for getting annoyed. And I was kind of wondering if you had any tips on that.
You are resisting your own resistance in a way, and there's no point to it really. So you have to have a non-judgment towards your own judgment, recognizing you have to feel judgment and resistance in order to move it. And if you create more judgment about the judgment or more resistance around the resistance, it creates even more tension. So it is okay that you still have judgments, and to be aware where there are judgments helps you to dissolve them. And you cannot dissolve them if you don't feel them.
So should I technically let it all flow in a sense, but then balance it back afterward, or?
Yes, allow it to flow, and even perhaps use a process of journaling to write out why you feel so negatively about these individuals, to simply clearly see it for what it is. And as you do that, then you can read it and see what beliefs are explicitly there. And remember as well, sometimes you have judgments coming from belief systems, and sometimes individuals are simply not resonant with you. If beings vibrate at a lower frequency, it is natural to not prefer being connected with them. And it is also natural to feel some of the emotional states that they feel. So make sure that you are not judging your own telepathic gifts. When you connect with individuals who are predominantly negative, you will feel negative energy.
Ah, okay. Wow. What a game. Thank you.
Oh, thanks to you.
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello and welcome.
Thank you, and thank you so much for this transmission. My question, a couple of days ago, I had an Akashic reading, and the reader, she sensed some negative energies for me, and so she was holding selenite while she was doing some of my readings. And I just had not been aware that I had, that I was emanating negative energies. And so then afterwards, it made me feel kind of stressed about those negative energies because I wasn't so aware of them. The next day, I meditated on it, and definitely there was some grieving and crying that arose during meditation, and it was very helpful. I felt very light afterwards. The next day, I woke up after sleeping and could sense a lot of sensation in my lower right sacrum. And I didn't get a chance to meditate yet this morning, today, but I'm definitely going to meditate on it. And I'm just curious what your perspective is about me not being able to sense what that emotion is. Even when I was releasing some of it yesterday, I couldn't quite identify what those negative emotions were. Can you help me?
Well, it was grief, it was sadness, yes.
I believe it, yes, it was sadness. It was sadness. I don't know about grief so much as sadness, I think.
Yes. Did you ask yourself what might be bringing me to feel this sadness?
Yes, and it was a lot of different emotions that came up, but nothing clear, if that makes sense. It was a mix of things, layering of things.
All right, well, the sadness can have many layers. There can be many levels of causation, and often it is in the is the case when you are experiencing deep emotional clearing, that all of the belief systems that are present within a particular emotion come up at the same time. So this is why sometimes individuals will be holding a lot of anger, and one particular thing causes them to have an angry outbreak. It is not that that one thing is the cause of all of the emotion that exploded. It is simply that there was something that pushed them over the edge to allow all of that pent-up emotion to come out. So you can work with all of the layers of causation individually. Know that there will be an interrelated theme between them, but they are not necessarily the same belief. Though perhaps they might all be examples of beliefs in lack or beliefs in disconnection, there could be many different beliefs related to many different events. So you'll have to look at them both individually and thematically as interconnected.
I see. Okay, that makes absolute sense. So it's really dissecting all the different layers and seeing where they are interconnected. I see, in order to work through them. Okay. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thanks to you.
My love.
If there are no questions related to this initial transmission and these themes, you can open it up to all questions.
I would like to have a related question.
All right.
It's also related to emotions, of course, because usually happens to me when I'm working that for some reason after a while I get some stressed and maybe nervous again, and then I need to just comfort myself somehow, and then I usually go to some news pages or some social media just to read something, whatever, that is not so stressful. And I would like to change this practice.
Why?
Because I feel that I'm accumulating the stress from my work that is not necessary. So I would like to process it to feel more in ease with doing my work.
All right. So what do you believe that is causing you to feel stress?
It may be related that I'm like not good enough or not doing the good job, or there are some doubts about myself.
Are you doing the best you can?
Sure, definitely.
Then what could be wrong? Realize that the best you can is enough. If you act on your passion to the best of your ability, you're doing enough.
Yes, but in my work, I'm not following my passion, and
all right, then follow your passion instead, and you won't be stressed out.
Okay. That's the point. That
all right. Well, there's nothing wrong then with taking breaks to do something you're more passionate about. Because if you find yourself in a situation where you're dependent on something that isn't your passion to make money, then making money can still fit into the idea of following your passion because you might need it to live. But because it isn't your passion, you will naturally be drawn away from it. So acting on your passion to the best of your ability might mean that you spend less time working on things that you're not passionate about, and gradually shift into spending time more on the things that you are passionate about. But here, the way to improve it is to make sure that when you have breaks, you're actually choosing your highest passion and not a distraction, because there can be a tendency to not go for and not look for something that is higher than every other passion, and instead find the quickest path to something that brings immediate relief. But that is not following the formula to the best of your ability.
Okay, good. That's a good point. Yes. Okay, and if I remembering is, I all the time I'm doing something I'm not passionate about. I sort of a way I need to have two things. One thing that I'm passionate about, at least thinking about it, and then along that doing something that is not so pleasant for me.
You don't need to do that, but you've created a situation in which you're dependent on something you're not passionate about to make money. So you need to find a way out of that. In the meantime, it's okay to do it, but the goal is that what you're passionate about brings you income.
And I believe the way is that to do things that I'm passionate about more and more, and spending more time on it. And
yes, and the more you do that, the more you develop skills. The more you develop skills, the more you will be able to experience financial exchange for offering your passion. And the more that you experience financial exchange for following your passion, the more you can shift out of what you're presently doing into something new.
Yes, and also I will be feeling more and more pleasant emotions.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Thanks to you as well.
Maybe I would like to have another question. How do you perceive willpower, or how do you define it?
Willpower comes from being in alignment with your passion. If you don't have willpower, you're not in alignment with passion. There is also another level of willpower that is aligned with your belief. If you don't believe you can do something, or if you believe that you have to be good enough, then you won't feel the passion and motivation to do it.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, thank you very much. And one more question regarding my distractions. I usually, when I'm, for instance, listening to you or somebody else, there is some interesting point you are making, and then my mind picks up the thing and then doesn't follow your train of thoughts, and instead it generates a new branch of thoughts that is basically distracting me and taking me somewhere else,
Well,
and I'm losing my focus. Pardon me?
That's all right. Then you might want to pause the transmission, take a moment to write down where your train of thought is going, so you have fully explored it, and then pick up again once you've found what you were downloading or channeling.
So it may be a sign of kind of channeling or some.
You're getting information from your own higher self.
Okay, so giving it more significance would help it to understand it, right?
Yes. And taking the time to explore it, we suggest writing it down.
Yes, because I easily forget it. Okay.
Yes.
And then jump to the next train of thoughts. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes. Our thanks to you.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Yes, thank you. There is someone in the queue? To ask a question? Or can I ask?
You're
Go for
welcome.
it. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I would like to know in terms of energetical frequency, if I am doing better, and if there is some instruction from or some advice from my higher self, please.
Are you feeling better?
I don't know. Sometimes the mind put in the middle. Sometimes I feel better. It's very difficult to distinguish.
Well, if you're feeling better at least some of the time, then you're improving.
Okay, so that means you see some improvement.
Yes.
Okay, so it's good. There is some advice from my higher self.
Are you acting on your passion?
Trying.
You can't try, you can only do.
There is no way we can trick you.
No,
It's not fair. This is too much complicated, this 3D world.
it's not complicated at all. You simply act on your passion to the best that you can.
I acting in my best, but in some range. So I think maybe
what?
one day in my range, in my level.
Yes, that is all right. You only need to do it in your level. There's no need to compare it to what other people are doing.
So maybe before the end of my lifetime, I will succeed to get better.
You're getting better. You're simply still in states of comparison, thinking you need to be in the same way that other people are. But you don't.
Okay.
You only need to do your best to the best of your ability.
I would like to understand something.
Right.
What's mean to be like women, female energy when there is too much, how do you say that? Too much insecurities and too much straighten, people looking at you, so much source of maybe people taking over you. What's mean to be female when you have to be empowered in environment which is very complicated?
Well, it means that you stop buying into the belief that you have less power, because the patriarchal structures of the world only work because people believe that they are inherently true. So it involves some degrees of rebelling against that system to reclaim your power. It involves teaching yourself that you are powerful. It means having strong boundaries. If any energies feel intrusive or trying to take life force or power from you, you say no to those energies. You stand up to them and you say clearly, this is who I am, this is what I am available for, and this is what I am not available for. It means harnessing your own inner power and remembering you are source in form, and nobody can disconnect you from source.
Yes, but what you do if you was a female walking and you have maybe threatened some male, maybe more power than you, and isn't not better to try to avoid by hiding yourself than to maybe put yourself and maybe rise the probabilities of facing such kind of things?
You can simply ignore negative attention. You can be aware that certain people might be looking at you or observing you, but you can ignore them.
So you mean only by staying in a higher vibration we can avoid to experiment lower
You
situations?
have to be a vibrational match to those energies in order to have a negative interaction of that nature. If you believe you are powerless, you will attract somebody who will reflect that to you and try to take power over you. If you believe you are powerful, somebody who is a perpetrator and attempts to overpower you will not get close to you because they will energetically feel that you will not play their game.
Okay, that is really interesting. I will have to pound and to very digest this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, our thanks to you. And you can see this as part of the way that you live in a universe based on this law of attraction. If you believe that you are powerlessness, you will manifest an experience of that powerlessness. If you feel powerless, you will attract situations that reflect and prove that to you. If you believe you're powerful and you feel powerful, you will attract situations that prove that to you. You were the creator, so rewrite the story. Thank you.
Yes, yes, it's difficult to not identify it as a fractal and to see ourselves as a soul and energy. Okay, my higher self don't want to add nothing.
No, we've said all that we can say about this theme.
Yes, yes, right. Thank you so much. Kisses for you.
Well, thanks to you as well.
I may have an extra question, if I may.
Yes.
It's an interesting roller coaster ever since I had a person in my family transition. And there's been an incident where there was some kind of antiquity which looked like it had value, or as soon as I looked on the internet, of course Google showed the highest value that it potentially had, which had my mind racing about the potential of things that could happen and the things that could be done and on this high energy. Yet then when it got evaluated, it had absolutely no value, and it didn't really hit me because I was kind of letting loose. Yet I noticed on the initial idea, there was a whole plethora of thoughts about the potential of things that could be done. And this is something that doesn't often cross my mind, but used to. And I was kind of wondering what's up with that?
We're not sure we fully follow.
Well, there was an initial idea of, let's say, a good amount of revenue that could come in. And when that initial idea was perceived out of you could say, false article on Google, then the mind started to race about all the potential things that could be done, all the things that could be achieved, that could be done for others and done for self. And then as soon as the evaluation of that antiquity occurred, and that it turned out it had no value, then energy kind of shifted. Yet what I'm remaining puzzled about is I'm wondering why the mind doesn't stay in this idea of looking at the potentiality of things that can be accomplished. This enthusiasm to create more things for others and self on a daily basis.
keep yourself open to more ways that that abundance can show up. You have to believe that these things are possible. You have to keep that open mind and open heart and know that passion will guide you. So as long as you're in that higher frequency state and believing that the universe will show you the opportunities when you need to see them, you will find them. It might be that the opportunities are in front of you, but you don't have your eyes open to see them.
That's true. Something to retrain. Would that also tie in the aspect of belief in self in that regards as well? Because oftentimes, let's say a project idea would kind of come in and the energy would kind of go up, but then peter out at certain times. Maybe it's overthinking, or maybe it's not necessarily having 100% belief in it.
Belief in self is also required. You have to believe in your own capability. You have to believe in your own worth. You have to believe in your worthiness and value. So if you have those beliefs in greater alignment, then you will be able to feel greater passion for the opportunities as they arise. You'll be able to be in that empowered state where you know that you're capable, so you will seek out more pathways.
Okay, thank you. Great, thanks.
Yes, I thanks to you as well.
Hi, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, welcome.
Hi, this is Christine. I have two topics I'd like to talk about. The first is today is my late mother's birthday, and the other topic is a bit related. So I just wanted to know if there's any message from her.
She is in loving union with Source, and she only seeks to let you know that all is well, and her love for you is eternal, and she is, in a sense, a spirit guide to you now that can be called upon. You can invite her presence in so you can feel her company in spirit and know that there are guides for you on the other side that can help you open the veils more. Yeah,
cool. Yeah, so that connects also to the next topic. So I have rediscovered my passion for reiki. So laying hands and transmitting energy. And so the other topic is related because my mother she was not a Reiki channel per se, but she used to, whenever I would leave the house, she used to put her hands on my head and mumble some kind of blessings, I guess. And I think I think it comes from a tradition in our family. As far as I know, my great-grandfather on the Philippines was a kind of a hands-on healer for the neighborhood. And when I was very, very little, he did that with me as well, because I had a case of physical weakness. And in my family, in my Filipino family, there's a lot of ritual going on, and of course they're also very religious, which comes from the Spanish colonialization, I think. But I do call upon my whole family a lot. I did it right now. I'm giving myself a mental healing with Reiki right now, and I used to make it a custom of calling upon my great-grandfather, my grandmother, and my mother to give me their blessings, and I also give them my blessings to enhance my abilities. And actually, I would like to know, what's my next step for applying these and growing in this art, and also benefiting myself with it and others, of course.
this gift does come through your genetic line, so there's already some activated power innately within you. And the blessings your mother shared is in sort of the same line as Reiki, as whenever there is an intention to bestow blessings and a belief in that source connection, energy is transmitted to uplift and to awaken. So, and yes, to heal. So you can deepen into this practice by continuing to practice on yourself and practice on others, and also invite yourself to receive from others, opening yourself to ways of exchanging energy, healing practices, and know that the more you open this channel, the wider it becomes, like it is a sort of natural river. The more water that flows through this river, the more the river expands and becomes a bigger flowing channel. So the more that you call in more source energy to flow through you, the more open your channel becomes to work with more of that energy. So you may want to seek out more opportunities
You're breaking
to
away.
give, to share, and to receive.
You're breaking away. The connection is breaking away. The acoustic connection.
Can you hear us now?
Now you're back. Yes.
So what we were saying is that this channel works much like a river. The more frequently and the more water flows through the river, the deeper and broader the river becomes, and it is able to handle more water flowing through it. So the more that you open to channel energy, the more open your channel will become. And this involves giving, receiving, and sharing energy with others. So open yourself to seek out receiving energy from others. Open yourself to sharing this energy more with others, and as well to practice more on yourself, as these will all broaden your ability to channel energy.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
So I knew that my great-grandfather did this, and I'm curious about this DNA lineage. Where does this come from, or what is it, or well, I don't know.
Well, it comes
What
from
is
him.
this?
There's also more people before him that practice energy healing. So it's in a sense imparted in the DNA. Certain gifts are imparted in the DNA that are received by those in the lineage. It does have more ancient origins as well, as there were healers of various kinds in your family line.
Can you say more about that?
That would be all we can share for now.
Thank you very much.
You can invite these
Blessings.
spirit guides to share information with you if you would like.
I can invite them. You were breaking away again. So I can invite my ancestors.
Spirit guides to share more information with you if you would like.
My spirit guides. All right. Thank you very much. Blessings.
Blessings to you as well. And so at this point,
Hello?
I'll take questions from those who have not yet asked the question today. All right, then we will offer you a closing meditation to seal all of this energy in. Bring your feet firmly against the ground and straighten your spine, closing your eyes and coming deeply into your body and into the present here and now. Take several deep breaths in and out, slowly filling your body with air and exhaling, emptying out, returning to a 0 point of openness, surrender. Do this several more times, inhaling completely, and exhaling, relaxing, surrendering, clearing the slate. Bring your awareness into your heart. And feel the beat of your heart flowing all of this energy through your body. Feel your heart as this receiving antenna. When you tap into certain sources of energy, your heart brings it in and circulates it through you. Your heart follows the rhythm of that which the heart follows the rhythm of everything that you connect with. And so what you're connected with creates a rhythm that flows through you. Now, as we always do, bring your heart to connect with the earth, seeing great roots of light that grow from your heart down and out through the base of your spine and through the soles of your feet. Feel these roots wrapping out around the roots of other crystals, of other plants, wrapping and weaving through minerals, metals, traveling deeper down through all of the water under the earth, to the magma beneath the earth, deeper, far beneath the crust, into the molten core of the earth and into the solid core of the earth. We feel the roots wrap around this deep resonance center that is continuously vibrating, a deep hum that travels to you. Feel the waves of energy coming from this deep earth core, traveling upward through your roots and into your body. Feel them rippling upwards fast, and then coming into your feet, up through your legs, past your knees, through your thighs, your hips, into the base of your spine, up through your abdomen, torso, chest, and out through your arms, up through your neck, face, and head, feeling your whole body, taking in this powerful deep earth energy. Now open up the cosmic channel, seeing a great column of light that spreads out around your body and goes all the way down to the center of the earth. Follow this column trillions of light years away as it travels out beyond your moon and your sun, out beyond, through many stars connected to your solar system, and into the galactic center. You might see it as a supermassive black hole, but as you move through its center, you are opened up into a great matrix of light, far beyond your ability to perceive this physical dimension. Feel this infinite light of source, connected to every galactic center, and far beyond to every potential universe ever created. Allow this energy to flow like a waterfall down through this crystal column and into your head. Seeing a brilliant white or clear light that flows through your head, through your face, neck, shoulders, down through your arms, your chest, through your abdomen, belly, then down out through the base of your spine, through your legs and your feet, filling your whole body with the cosmic energy, feeling yourself connected and anchored, immersed in the energy that travels through all dimensions. Bringing it back now into your heart. Now we invite you to picture yourself opening the door to a room. It is a beautiful room filled with precious objects, things that you love, your favorite colors, wondrous plants, perhaps crystal chandeliers, many things that you love. The room, most importantly, has many, many windows. And every time you return to this room, it might get a bit bigger to fit some more windows. Each one of these windows is a portal to a moment in which you felt supreme joy and love. For now, we invite you to only connect with one of those windows. There might be a curtain around it. Go walk to it and open the window to peer into one of these moments in which again you felt supreme joy and love. See another version of you from that time and space celebrating, immersed in wondrous energy. Perhaps you return into that very memory, experiencing what it was like to have that particular emotion. Feel it flowing through your body again, uplifting you. Feel yourselves dance with ecstasy and love. Tension melts. As you remember, it is possible to feel this good. It's not only possible, but I can feel this good again and again. Returning into that room, see this version of yourself from the seeming past. Now, conjure an object that will remind you of that moment. Open your hands to receive it and place it in your hands. What is the object? Feel it. This object now becomes a symbol that whenever you want to reconjure this energy, you remember this gift that you have given to yourself, and you bring it into your heart and ask, let me return to the supreme state of love and joy. May this energy flow through me, knowing that the more that you return to this state, the more this state will be your natural state of being. And without your control, you will effortlessly shift back into the state of being again and again. The more you practice this state of being as your core foundation, the more your whole life can be lived from this state. So take this object into your heart and get familiar with it. And begin now initiating yourself into choosing to practice this and choosing that every time you may be feeling lost, confused, anxious, or afraid, you remember this object, you bring it into your heart, you remember what it felt like to have supreme joy and bliss circulating through you. Remember that it is possible. Remember what that sensation is and choose. This is the state of being I prefer, and this is the state of being I wish to return to again and again. I will remember this. Now look around you in the room. There are many other windows. We will not get to them all today, but you can return to this place and open the windows to other moments in which you felt supreme love and joy. And ask for them to give you another symbol so that there's more things that can remember you and can remind you of the state. The more you do this, again, as we have said, the room will fill with many more windows and it'll get bigger and bigger, because the more you practice the state of being, the more there will be other moments to remind you of how much love source is, and that you are the source of love. And this unconditional love of source can expand through you again and again, all of the time, forever. We thank you for allowing this transmission to take place. And we ask, perhaps as we didn't ask before, are there written questions from the YouTube that you would like to share with us if they are relevant?
There were none.
All right, then that will be all. We thank you for allowing this transmission to take place, for receiving this energy and this information. as it is a gift to our world to connect with you. And the more that you stay in this expanded state of being, the more it will return on to you. Our thanks and love to each and every one of you, and we wish you a pleasant rest of your day.
Thank you, Dante.
Dante. Thank you.
All right.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Dante.
Really good
You're
one.
really welcome.
Awesome, Des. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Felt really lovely. It felt really expansive.
That was amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, just
Epic
a reminder
meditation.
that donations support this, and it allows me to continue focusing on this as the main thing I do. And basically, all of my income comes from channeling and healing work. So your donation really supports the session, supports me, and allows all of the joy to keep spreading. So the links to donate are in the YouTube chat and the Zoom chat. And if you're watching the replay, you can also just go to dantestarshine.com. On the contact page, I believe, are the donation links as there, not anywhere else, but it is just my email address. So yeah, thank you for sharing, and a reminder that channeling course is still open, launching April 6th. So there's a little over a week to still register. And you can do a free program consultation with me to see if it's a fit. And we'd love to have you in the program. It's going to be an intimate group, which means there's just more time for your questions, more time for going deeper, and yeah, all of those things. So thank you. And how's everybody feeling?
It's great.
Really good?
Great.
Oh, feeling great.
I like really good.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah, be excited. Be excited, be joyful, be radiant, abundant, magical.
Especially with that awesome meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good, the meditations. They're always
Yeah, that's fine.
good.
It's a great location to return to every night.
Yeah, every night you can go into that room and just cultivate more bliss and joy. I love it.
Hey, thank you. It's like a new video game location, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we live in a video game, kind of.
Yeah, we do.
Total metaverse.
More of a video game
Yeah.
than the metaverse.
Thank you, Dante, as always. So appreciate
Very welcome.
it. Thank you.
So much love your way. Good to see you.
Bye.
Love that little pigtail.
I'm trying to grow out my hair. I want my hair long like yours.
Oh yeah, fun.
I used to be down to here 100 years ago, but
Wow.
because I've heard that your hair are like your antenna.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So I was told no more short hair. It's like, okay.
Yeah, you can receive more subtle energy with the long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have so much hair that I felt the liberty to shave some of it because I have naturally abundant antennas and it was getting to be too much.
Plus you have this antenna too. So
Yeah, I have those antennas. I have antennas everywhere else too. Endless.
nice.
A lot of feeling.
Love to you.
Woohoo.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Have a great
Bye.
day.
Have a great
Later.
one.
Bye.
So
Goodbye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
I'll catch you guys very soon. See you next week. And again, if there's other times and dates that would suit you better, let me know, as I'd love to cater to those who are viewing and love to change things up myself. It was cool to do it at a different time last week. So the possibilities are open, and
Yeah.
I think that's everything.
Should we just
So-
text you that? Like if there's different times, should we just text you? Is that
Yeah,
easiest?
text me sometimes you think are good.
Okay.
or even better for you, and we'll see how if it evolves. I'm pretty good at this time for now, and I like Thursdays and I like Fridays, but there could be other days too. So I'm just curious. I'm just curious to see if people have preferences.
Okay. Okay.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
See you soon. And I'm always here for your personal questions and channeling sessions. So take a peek, hop on, and maybe I'll see you then. Okay. Bye-bye. Much love. Blessings, hugs.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Blessings,
And
hugs
thank
to
you
you.
again. Massive abundance your way.
Yeah. Oh, how do I claim host? There we go.